Hello, my name is Ricardo Bastos, and in this video, I'm going to provide you with an overview of the hands-on with Sophos XGS Firewalls course. So, about this course will teach you everything that you need to know to successfully deploy a firewall, and these deployment could be in a physical environment or a virtual environment. So we're going to cover some of the common virtual environments such as VMware, GNS3, EVNG, among others. And we're going to go through all the tasks that you need to do. So how to set up interfaces and set up the device to be ready for your need. A differentiator of this course is that we're going to talk and link our capabilities to real life examples. So you're going to understand when you should use certain feature and how you should configure certain feature to fit your needs. So I try to bring my experience with so many years working with these products to show you the areas that need more attention, the features that require certain configurations or certain designs to amplify the impact and the performance of the device using those features. Also, we're going to learn a little bit about the history of firewalls, what a next generation firewall is, the feature set, and what you can get out of it. So, what will you learn? So, we're going to start with a history of firewalls, what a next generation firewall is, and a little bit of the evolution so far. Then we're going to talk about the setup, how to configure the Sophos XGS in virtual and physical environments. Then we're going to talk a little bit about administration, so how to set up your lab, how to navigate through the dashboard, how to set up firewall policies, how to set up interfaces, what are zones, and routing. Routing, either dynamic or static routing. Then we're going to talk about advanced administration tasks, such as configuring firewall modes, next generation firewall configuration, and creating policies. Then we're going to do a recap of everything that we've learned. So let's talk about the roadmap. As mentioned, we're going to start with the introduction to the course, where we're going to go through history of firewalls, overview capabilities, so on and so forth. Then initial setup in virtual environments. Then we're going to talk about firewall interface, and then moving along with administration tasks, and then our conclusion. So now let's take a look at each section and what we're going to see on each. So we're going to start with the history of the firewall. We're going to talk about the evolution, when the firewalls were mainly port-based. We're going to talk a little bit about the OSI model. So we're going to understand how a firewall communication works, all the layers. We're going to talk about why next-generation firewalls were created, all the features, and the evolution from the first firewalls to the next generation firewalls that we have today. Then moving forward, we're going to talk about why next generation firewalls are needed and what was the reason for the creation of this device and the problems that it solves. Then we're going to talk a little bit about the advantages of the Sophos XGS, the features, the easiness of use, and everything that differentiates it from the competition. Moving along, we're going to start with the setup on virtual environments. So we're going to talk about EVNG, VMware, and other environments, how to set up your lab. Then we're going to talk about the Sophos graphical user interface and the Sophos command line interface, the differences among them, when you should use one and when you should use the other. Then we're going to talk about firewall policies and objects, how to configure a firewall policy, how to manage objects, how to create new objects, and how you should set them. Moving along, we're going to talk about interfaces and zones. What is an interface? What is a zone? When you should configure, how you should configure. Then we're going to talk about routing. I'm going to show you how to configure static routes, dynamic routes, OSPF, BGP, RIP, and others. Then we're going to talk about SD-WAN. I'm going to show you all the features that it provides, how you can dynamically configure routes for specific applications, how you can select and configure specific metrics for defining your route. So for example, it could be a link that has more bandwidth available, or it could be a link that has a lower jitter, or several metrics in terms of performance that you can use dynamically to select a path to an application, to a host, or to a user. And then we're going to talk about creating policies, how those policies work, and things that you need to be careful with. Some prerequisites for being able to follow our lessons. You need to have at least a working knowledge of TCP/IP, just to understand, for example, what is an IP, what is a subnet mask, because those situations you see a lot throughout the course on, for example, configuring objects, configuring hosts. So you need to know what each means. But other than that, I've tried to be very clear and to explain things in a way that everybody can understand. So if you have this basic knowledge of networking and TCP/IP, you should be good. So now let's jump to the lessons. See you there.